Lib Dem spokesperson Luke Taylor.
Thank you very much, Mr Chairman. I'd like to begin by thanking the Honourable Member for Altrincham and Sale West for securing this important debate, and also thank the Minister for Migration and Citizenship for attending to hear from us all today. This week I had the opportunity to engage with the Hong Kong Democracy Council and Hong Kong Watch, as well as attend a meeting with the Hong Kong All-Party Parliamentary Group. These discussions provided valuable insights into the key topics surrounding the current debate, with headline concerns around transnational repression, access to the £3 billion held hostage in the mandatory provident funds in the UK, in UK banks, and also eligibility gaps in the B&O scheme, but also access to home fees at UK universities for B&O visa holders. Hong Kongers are an integral part of the community in my constituency of Sutton and Cheam. I'm proud to represent thousands of residents originally from Hong Kong. Our area, known for its proximity to central London, family-friendly atmosphere and outstanding schools, is a welcoming place for those looking to make a new start. My constituency is a mosaic of multicultural communities that enrich modern London. From Hong Kongers to Ukrainians, Afghanis to Tamils, I take immense pride in representing an area that stands as a crucial sanctuary for those fleeing persecution abroad. In Sutton and Cheam, we embrace the unique backgrounds of every resident in a community where diversity is valued and celebrated. And yet, tragically, because of the actions of an overseas state, many of my constituents are afraid to show their faces at demonstrations here in London advocating for democracy in Hong Kong. How can it be acceptable that they feel it necessary to wear face coverings and masks to conceal their identity, to avoid repercussions for themselves, their families and their friends? Many of the residents that I represent live in fear of being photographed on the street by those acting on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party, worried that these images could be used to target and persecute their families back in Hong Kong. Such a fear tactic has no place in our democracy, and I am deeply appalled that it is happening right here under our noses. With the Chinese government expanding its embassy operations with a volunteer recruitment scheme designed to surveil dissent against the CCP, this anxiety is only likely to escalate amongst my constituents and many of yours. This kind of transnational repression is not just happening at major protests in central London. Just last year, former Hong Kong Chief Executive Leung Chen-ying took to social media to criticise the promotion of a children's day camp put on by Hong Kongers in my constituency in Sutton. It was alluded to earlier by my honourable friend for Carl Sholton Wallington. That day camp celebrated a series of books titled Sheep Village. It was aimed to teach children about justice, civil liberties and human rights, informing a new generation of the context behind Hong Kongers' struggles against CCP influence. This event illustrates the extensive surveillance the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, HKSAR, can exercise in our capital. A seemingly small community book event at a local church in my constituency can be swiftly reported to CCP officials in Hong Kong, exposing my constituents to potentially life-changing consequences. This reality not only raises serious concerns about personal safety, but also highlights the chilling effect on freedom of expression in my constituency. It should simply go without saying that no one on UK soil should ever feel threatened by another country for standing up for their freedom. If we are to continue to be a beacon of light and hope for those fleeing oppression, we cannot stand for such blatant disregard for the values of openness and freedom that we cherish in Britain. I must also draw attention to a critical oversight in the British National Overseas B&O visa scheme. Since its launch in 2021, under the previous government, for which I do again congratulate and thank them for their action in the first instance, over 160,000 Hong Kongers have utilised this pathway to seek refuge in the UK. However, a troubling loophole exists, as has been mentioned earlier. Individuals aged between 27 and 45 are currently unable to access this vital lifeline unless they came to Britain as part of a family unit. This has meant that many young Hong Kongers who want to take up the offer are unable to do so. This needless exclusion leaves many vulnerable to the increasingly oppressive regime of the Chinese Communist Party back in Hong Kong. Why should an uncontrollable variable such as age determine an individual's ability to escape oppression? We do recognise that the scheme has evolved and developed as the situation in Hong Kong has changed, but we do encourage the government to take action. As we've all identified today, this mistake needs to be corrected. That action to plug the gap in the B&O visa scheme is plainly the right thing to do, so please can we expand it to ensure Hong Kongers of all ages are able to live in Britain with their families. The Liberal Democrats stand firmly behind the people of Hong Kong and their democratic freedoms, both abroad and in Britain. The CCP are exerting transnational oppression right here on our doorsteps. Inaction is not the answer, not if we're able to meet our obligations and continue to be a moral leader and champions of democracy around the world. Britain's story and Hong Kong's story are intermingled. Our colonial history has made it so. Today, it leaves us with a profound imperative to not abandon the people of that great city, wherever they now reside, and ensure the flame of freedom that they have never shrunk from carrying with them is not extinguished. Can we urge the Minister to ensure that the Foreign Secretary raises the concerns highlighted in this debate with the Chinese and Hong Kong governments at every opportunity? Just metres from this place, a statue of Millicent Fawcett stands in Parliament Square. Inscribed upon it are the words, "Courage calls to courage everywhere." The people of Hong Kong are showing their courage, and it is calling out to us. Let us answer that call.
Shadow Minister Paul Holmes.